Good morning from Yolo Ranch. Another day. It's a little bit wet out here. It rained all day yesterday. Didn't get a whole lot done. Got the chickens out playing. They're actually tilling our garden. It's so wet we can't use a tractor, so let the chickens do their job. We've got, with that cold snap that hit us, all of our water lines that the rabbit broke. And the waters that we were using just weren't great anyway because the rabbits ate them. So they were always leaking and causing wood rot, a bunch of crap. So now Larissa's shoveling crap, doing government work. We got a ditch dug underneath there and we're draining our barrel so that we can run new waters like that one. It's all going to be on a poly tube. You see that there. Try to make it where it's a little bit easier, and it will all be underneath the little cover here. So right now the PVC is exposed, a lot of it on the back side of these cages. So but as we get going, we'll bring you along and show you some more.
What we've done is got that tank drained. And Jace is installing the new bulkhead fitting that I got. It just goes directly from the tank to the 3/8 inch ID tubing. Can I see what that looks like?
It's got a nut goes on it. That's all.
Okay. So we'll see if one of us gets stuck in the tank threading that thing on the inside like last time. And then while we're doing all this, I'm going ahead and cleaning the cages. We moved this one out and took all the PVC off the back. This is another one of those live and learn situations. Seems like we do and redo, but we learn from what we've done, and then we figure out, okay, maybe this will work a little better. But so we're doing away with the PVC. I'm cleaning up the floor and shoveling shit, cleaning out the trays. We're gonna be doing some rabbit butchering in the next couple days. We've got 18 babies and I think 6 of them are ready to go. I advertised them for sale and nobody wanted live bunnies this time, so they're gonna go to the freezer. But anyway, we've gone through and taken all the plastic cups out. We went from the plastic cups like this, and the rabbits would just eat them. Those are the ones that were left that hadn't been eaten. Then I switched to these metal ones, and they didn't eat the cups on the metal ones, but we're still having a problem with them leaking pretty bad. And then in the winter, when everything freezes, I don't have a way to winterize that situation at all. So I think Jace showed you the cups that we're gonna install, and it takes totally reworking the system, but we'll get there. Got that cage pulled out, the PVC pulled off the back. I'm over there washing trays. Bucko is checking out Callie. Oh, is Callie up there? Is that your girlfriend? Yeah. I don't know if Jace had told you, we had all these babies, right? This one I bought, that's Nikki. She's full-blooded Chinook, papered and everything. But these others are babies from different mamas. I've got them labeled. But I kept putting these black babies in this cage, and I'd come back the next day and they would be over here with this mama and all of her babies at the time. And I told Jason, I think I'm losing my mind because I keep putting the rabbits in this cage, or I think I'm putting the rabbits in this cage, and then they're back over there. So Jason witnessed it one day, what they were doing. They were pushing this tray over, and they were going up and over, pushing this tray over and coming in to that enclosure. And the only reason he saw it was because he witnessed them coming back over to this other cage. So these little guys, they think they're smart, but they're big enough now they can't fit through the crack at all. That's the first time we've had them do that. Decide they wanted to switch cages, and up and over they went. I know. You guys aren't as tame as my other Nikki, huh? But if I'm really calm, they'll let you pet them a little bit. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Anyway, I'm gonna finish cleaning those cages too. I wanted to show you guys, this is kind of the template we've come up with for these feeders. This is on the small wire. You can see, come over, and then there's a hole cut out right here. I can show you with my finger. Hold on just a second. Okay, so got all this crap behind it, but we've had to cut out this much for the bowl to fit through, and then you need a place for these to hook. So that's why these are offset, because they're on the outside of the bowl. And then for the bottom part, I have actually come up with putting a piece of wire across the bottom and then sliding it in. That was the first one we did, and I cut those off a little bit, but then I figured out on this one just to put the wire up high enough where you have that slot in the side for it to slit down on inside, and then up here is your big hole for this to go through, and then your inside cup, and then the other big hole. So you got to put the top ears through first at an angle, put it up, and then move it all down. I'm trying to figure out where to do that. Is kind of hard, but we've got it down to an art now. Over here,
Abstract art.
abstract art. It's YOLO perfect, y'all. You can see here I used a bottom piece of wire across there so that this would have something to sit on, and then I cut the bigger holes here, hole for the cup. It's like a Mickey Mouse kind of, and then it slides on pretty good, and that's pretty secure. And then here at the top I cut it straight across. You don't need these pieces necessarily. You see on this side I cut them off because they're just sticking up there for me to catch my finger on. But then that gives me the joint to bend this back to cover this gap, and something to staple on the inside here to hold it. So that's nice and secure. We won't have anything going through there for sure. You can see on these cages in here, we used to have a wall. I don't know if Jason told you, but Oh, heck. We had a wall across here in the center, and they would just hide back there and poop back there. I thought it was a great idea for moms, but they didn't really use it. I ended up having to cut it in half and put a division board in there. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Jason made some circles back in the tin in the back of this cage, and that made it just perfect for him to slide that cup in on this cage. I'll take you back there and show you how it looks on the other side. We're running out of daylight, so trying to hurry a little bit. So there's a wall in each, here's the cage and then a wall. So we're trying not to put it in the middle of the space, but he cut his hole, slid it through, put a little piece of wire in there to fill the gap, and then he attached these with metal screws. So that's gonna work really good on those. What size of hole saw did you use on these, Jace?
3 5/8.
3 5/8 hole saw worked good for that. Over here, I started plumbing in. We got our tank adapter that goes straight to 3/8 ID tubing. I've got a valve to shut it all off with. I've got a T that's going to go over to this cage and then come over to this cage. We'll go through these waterers and then we'll tee off and go to this cage. We're running it on the front side instead of the back so we can keep a better eye on it, and I think it'll help keep it warmer. So we're going to run it across the top and drop it down to this one and then drop it down to this one. We'll have to make sure we have enough slack to still get our trays out, move it over and get our trays out, but that's the best we could come up with on this cage. And I still have that last two section. I got to move the feeder over here and then put the water there and there. That will be done. Jason over here has been working on moving this feeders to the doors. No, they were already there. Yeah, the feeders were already on the door.
Two. The rest of them were there. The two in ones were on the wrong place, but these were fine.
So ideally we don't want to have to move water hose every time we open the door. So we were trying to put the waterers over on the part that doesn't move. So I showed you over there where we teed off and went to these cages, and we'll tee off and go to this cage. So at that first tee, we'll come to this cage, come across the top, drop down here, over, drop down here, and over, and drop down here. So he's just been cutting some holes and adding a little bit of patch wire to fill the gap. And I think that's going to work just fine. And then he's working on the last one there. I'll come over here, get the last two done over here, and maybe we'll get them hooked up to water tonight. I'm not real sure. Might have to wait till tomorrow. One more night of water bottles, because that last freeze we had, oops, just totally shattered our PVC because the rabbits ate the insulation off of it. You can see it's just obliterated. So we'll give you one last shot once we're done. We ran out of daylight last night and just ended up throwing waterers back up for these guys. Oh, looks like I missed one right there. I gotta pull that one down. But came back out this morning. It's absolutely beautiful day today. It's like 72 degrees, real feel 80, I think it said. but came back out and finished it up. So everything's got new waterers. All the tubing is in front. We should be able to drain them completely when we're expecting freezing temperatures. That's one thing I like about these cups, is if you need to clean it or drain it, you just pull this bottom part off and dump it out. There's a float in there. You can trick the float, and these tops come off. You can just totally drain the system out. So I really like those for that reason. They've got the metal cups so the rabbits can't completely eat them away. We left our tank over there with the original bulkhead attachment on it, and just valved it off so that we'll be able to go ahead and drain it more quickly if we need to. We just teed off and went to this center cage and then over to this cage. We were unsure about this being lower and then coming up here to this taller cage, if we would have enough head pressure from that tank to fill these cups, and it's working beautifully. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that issue, at least for now. I do want to go ahead and come directly across to